Hi, everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am back today with a special review. Uh, and, the summertime, beaches, warm weather, making your old gravy in that warm weather, being stuck in a heat wave, I'm sorry, I'm digressing, lemonade, and also conventions. San Diego Comic Con had just passed, and with it came a plethora of unique and one of a kind collectibles released by various companies. Today, we're going to take a look at one of them from our old friends at Hasbro. This is the Transformers Combiner Hunters 3-pack. And I have to tell you, this box is big. It's barely fitting into my shot. It was kind of interesting. The figures actually showed up on Asian auction sites, I would say about 2 to 3 weeks before San Diego Comic Con. And a mere days after their debut, it was confirmed that they would be sold as a set for Combiner Hunters. And then, of course, when uh, Hasbro made its full announcement of exclusives, we found out these would be San Diego Comic Con exclusives. Some people were upset with that, but I kind of understand it. These are three generations figures that, believe it or not, in some areas you can still find on shelves. So I can understand making this a convention exclusive. We have repaints of Windblade, RC, and Chromia. And basically, they're done up in the style that they will appear in the Combiner Hunters comic, which, as of this recording, I think has just been released. So you have this great artwork featuring them with their bonus accessories, which we'll get to. And it's this little slip case. And what's nice is it does latch in here on the bottom, and it can just come off just like that, and you get an empty box. A very nice empty box, but no, I've already gone ahead and removed the figures and most of their weapons. You can see here RC comes with her extra swords, but I've left those in since they're really not part of the set. I am a little disappointed that they did not include the weapons, the blasters for RC, since those are used in vehicle mode to help secure a couple points of transformation. But enough about that. There's the front of the box. The back of the box is just basically some stylized art of the three, but you didn't come here to see art, you came here to see the figures. And here we are. I should mention that Chromia does come with the blaster the original figure came with. Um, I also want to mention, just for honesty's sake, believe it or not, this is my first experience with these figures. While I have the original Generations versions, um, for one reason or another, I never really got around to opening them up and experiencing them firsthand. So I'm going to try to limit myself to just talking about the repaints and slight retooling in the case of RC, um, and not a lot of first experience opinions and stuff like that. Like I said, these are all repaints. Windblade, I have heard, is actually painted much closer to how it looks in the comics, and I am happy about that since that was a complaint. Um, there is this great blue and gold going through the head here, and I kind of have to admit that the face looks a lot better than the original toy, because the original toy kind of looked like it was smeared with rainbow sherbet or something. It was going for a kabuki style, but there it is. The hair comb is translucent, cannot be removed. I tried. I didn't want to use more force than I already did. The same translucent plastic is here in the thrusters, and I do want to mention that the heels are secure. But as you can see, they got this nice red going through with the blue accents. I think really the main colors here are red and blue with the hints of that gunmetal gray. Moving on, we have Chromia. And Chromia is actually really cool. If you remember, the original figure was blue and white, and here it is blue and white again, but I think they kind of reversed the palette. You do have a little bit of a smirk here on the face, but I really like the almost metallic blue. You have some nice design work here, and just overall a really cool look. And yep, with the repaint, you really does look like it has cone heads for knees. So then moving along, we finally get to RC, who I think has the most drastic repaint of them all. As you can see, instead of being pink and white, it's basically black with several pink highlights. I think this was the most disappointing figure not to be released to mainline retail, since I think it would have sold. Like I said, yeah, some places these are still on shelves, but RC does move. Um, Other than that, it's a very flat black, but the pink is very vibrant, almost neon. And right there on the face, I don't know if you can tell. Let me clean this up a bit. Some people were worried. It does have the Autobot face tattoo. So a nice, bit of repainting involved. I think it really enhanced the figures. We're going to skip over transformation since that's been covered ad nauseum. But before we get into vehicle mode, there is a little bit of to do about accessories, namely how each one comes with a specialized combiner weapon. So we're going to go from this. Two things I want to mention right away. Windblade does come with its special katana sword. I just didn't peg it into the hip there, but it is included, which is good since it is part of the vehicle mode. And number two, there is no camera trickery. They are not leaning up against the backdrop. The three figures here can hold their weapons and still stand. That was a major concern among a lot of fans, and I am very happy about that. Now, the weapons are actually repaints of weapons that can come with larger figures. We all recognize the giant Cleaver of Doom from the Ultimate Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime. This little doohickey here with Windblade is it's called the Spectrospear. It comes with one of the three-step changers one of those Titan figures from the new Robots in Disguise cartoon. The same here with Chromia's Premium Blade. Those are available. So what's great is all of these are made in fairly solid plastic. Whereas, especially with the Cleaver of Doom, it was actually originally done in very soft plastic. So you can take these if you're not happy with them and give it to those other figures, and they'll have really cool painted weapons that I think stand out. But they are meant to go with these figures. So let me just bring them forward here, and you have Windblade with that Spectrospear. It's, meant to make you invisible and stuff like that. As I mentioned, the heels on Windblade are very solid. They're not falling out back or giving in. I don't know if it's just mine, but here is this Premium Blade. I think this is my favorite because I don't know if you can tell, but there is that tapering of color as you move towards the tip. That's really kind of cool. Now RC, this is the biggest one because I forgot to mention when I was giving her a close-up, they went ahead and remolded her hands so that the grip is fully open, that it can hold the sword properly. I assume this will also mean the blasters can be held better, but I mean, here it is, this nice Cleaver of Doom. I like how it matches up the neon pink that's on RC to begin with, but they're here. The joints aren't giving out. You can, for the most part, two-hand them. Keep in mind, RC's hands don't have wrists, so it's only the rotation there. But, yeah. This is really cool. I was really happy to get these and to see that um, the weapons can be held without the figures falling over. So now let's take a look at vehicle mode. And here they are in vehicle mode. Yeah, the instructions are actually kind of interesting. They're just like a giant sheet that's a poster. Not entirely thrilled by that since it's very hard to handle, but as you can see, I honestly think RC and Chromia really, I think, benefit the most from the recoloring because with Windblade, it's still a basic shade of red, just maybe a little bit brighter. But I kind of dig this futuristic bike mode. Don't forget that is actually a retool of Beast Hunters and Prime Robots in Disguise RC. And then here's Generations RC, looking very Tron-esque, and the wheels roll and all that. I do find it kind of interesting. I mean, like I said, unfortunately, even though it's shown in the instructions, they didn't include an either blaster, which would peg down here for a tailpipe, and then peg here in the chest to actually help secure the hands in place. Um, and that's about it. Now, speaking about weapon storage, um, let's pause for my final thoughts, and then I'll go ahead and show you how they can carry their larger weapons in vehicle mode. Yeah, unfortunately, there isn't any weapon storage for the larger weapons in vehicle mode, so you're just going to have to put them off to the side. I can't even fake some like crazy driver mode, but um, yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I mean, I'm really trying to hold back from first impression type of comments since this is really just a straight repaint set. And as a repaint set, I like it. I like the theme. I like how it ties in to the comic. The bonus weapons are great. I really thought they were going to be made of like cheap plastic, but it's like solid plastic. The figures can hold them. I actually picked this up off of eBay just so I could review it before July 28th, which is when all of the Hasbro exclusives go up on Hasbro Toy Shop. With that said, I would try to wait until then and get this set. If history is any indication, I don't think these are going to be that hard to find, and it's better than paying the hefty, hefty, hefty aftermarket prices. This is your old pal Chuck, and for the Combiner Hunter team of Windblade, Chromia, and RC, we will see you next time.